So does adding weight to an iron head make a difference? Let's find that one out now in the McGolf Fitting Room. Welcome back to the Make Fitting Room, and Jim McCleary, Most Water Certified Club Maker Club Fitter. And sometimes I get asked, does adding weight actually help? Basically, a situation fell into my lap and it gave me an opportunity to test. As there's going to be another review over here, probably over here, for the Big Bertha irons, okay? Now, the Big Bertha irons are a really cool looking iron, I will say that. However, when the manufacturing process for the demos came around, and to Callaway's, we'll give them a nod here, in that they found the issue before, well, we did. Now, would a normal fitter find it? Probably not, because they don't have the range like somebody like a custom guy like me would have. But they found it, and they let us know that the heads came in light, okay? So these guys came in light. So I measured them, and yeah, they're about 10 grams light, maybe a hair more than what I would prefer, but that's their designation, so that's what they get. So in talking with the guy in charge of the fitting process for Callaway, who I've known for quite a bit, and he was a club designer in his own right, he and I talked about adding the weight, and so I added 10 grams of weight, and that's kind of what they direct. So what I had to do is go in and measure out 10 grams of weight, and then I had to apply it. And applying it is a bit of a trick, but if you know how, it's actually fairly easy. So if you see one without, and then you see one with. Not bad, huh? Not bad. So I didn't really take away from the aesthetics of the club. So it can be done. So the real question is, what did it do? Well, we added 10 grams of weight, right? If we use the rule of thumb, every 2 grams at the tip is equal to 1 swing weight, and I added 10 grams, which means 5 swing weight points. So what I did is I measured it beforehand, and I got C5 in there, which is kind of a thing but keep in mind, 65 gram graphite shaft is always going to be light instead of that D0, D2 that everybody's looking for. Now we've got I put in the other ones, I put in the 10 grams, and it measures out C9 and a half, C10, or D0, there is no C10. And right there, so it's a little bit lighter, but I think that's probably a little closer because I think the heads were still a little bit light. So, C9 is a good number for adding that, because truth be known, is probably closer to C4.5. So right around that 4.5, 5. Now, is that a rule of thumb as it goes down the set? No, it changes. You just got to do you got to do experimentation and adding weight to make that happen. So what really happened when I did that? So what happened before and what happened after? Let's go take a look.
All right, this is how we hit them. The first one is, you see, obviously, is Rev 1. We'll call that the one where I added the weight, where the regular one is the way it came to me and a bit light. First and foremost, you'll see that there is a difference of about 6 yards of carry and about 7 yards of total distance. With the average miss, one way or to another, I was a little bit more to the right with the lighter club and a little more towards center with the heavier club. My club head speed was 95 and some change, where I was only swinging 93, almost 94, so about a mile and a quarter difference. However, my quality of hit went up a 0.05. And that is significant, okay? 0.05 is a fairly significant change. So I was able to hit it with a slower swing speed, but hit it very much better and end up with some seriously good distances. The spin rates were pretty much non-effective. I would say somewhere in that 100 RPM range. The axis where I was hitting it was just a little bit better. The vertical was everything. We'll just cut this one all short. If you look, everything is just slightly better as we get here. I hit the club a little bit higher, still classifying it as a fade. A little bit more roll. Club to face path was a little bit more closed. To the target, a little bit closer. Everything just gets a little bit better, a little bit better. And that's what it ended up with. So let's take a look at what it looks like here. All right, so this is, if you take a look at the black lines, let's just hit them all. And you see, you get a bit of a fan. You know, there's not a whole lot of, I will say, consistency, right? I'm getting it out there in distance, but right to left is there. Now, for a bigger iron that you're hitting that far, that's not unexpected. However, we'd like to see it a little tighter. So now let's see what the other one does. And you can see it's a little darker. There's a little few more that are closer together. It's still fanning, but you get to see where most of them are accumulating around the center. These guys were pretty big hits. I left them in there just so you can see some big numbers. But if we take it out, it's more centered towards the middle. And to show you even more, this is what it looks like. So if we go, and here's more of the centering right here with the two big guys right out here. These were warm-up shots. So if you look right here, this is the concentration of them all, landing in that 190 to almost 200 range, but more towards the center. If we go towards the other one, we're right in here with a couple of really long ones off to the side. Not doing too bad as well, but it's kind of fade-ish, which is kind of funny, versus the being all out here. So not too bad at all. The really cool part about it is that the shaft was acting very, 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 very good for me. The straight line is exactly what you're looking for when it comes to that. So the concentrations were very, very good. I'm not off hardly in any, except for this guy here, but that's on the light one. But when it gets into the heavy one, I get very, very consistent with it. So I really like that particular point of it. So if we wanted to see from the back end one more time, here we go. That's with the heavy one. Just goes to show you I can put them just about everywhere. And if we go with the next one, and we hit them up, and when they're lighter, they tend to go everywhere even wider. So you get to see what's going on. So adding weight is a good thing. That tells you, it gives you a little more consistent. But now, again, keep in mind, I was going from the light to the standard. So you can get too light, whereas you can get too heavy. Now let's go finish this off.
All right, so there you have it. We have, the lighter one basically. Now again, for me, the lighter one was a little bit too unstable. Yeah, I mean, I kept it in play per se, but it felt light. And when you get to the backswing, you hear people talking about losing the club in their backswing. And that's what happens. And sure enough, that's what happened. I really didn't understand that until just about now. I mean, I knew it existed, but I never considered myself that kind of player. And apparently, I have touch now. Now, when I added the weight, it actually, I felt the first 10 shots were like that. And I fell victim to the golfer's curse trying to hit it further, and things started get wider. However, they stayed well within play, except for the couple that I pulled. But it felt more stable, right? The spin, as you saw, did not get impacted too bad. All the other parameters didn't get impacted too bad. Just the quality of my shot just got better. So, guys, if you're thinking about, now this is because I had heads that came in light, and I had to make them to standard, not going from standard to super duper heavy. Okay. That's your fitter's job. The fitter should be able to take a look at your swing and know that if you're very incredibly smooth, that a lighter head could actually work. Say for somebody that's older, this could be a really, really good head. Now, if you're somebody that's very, very aggressive, no, you're not going to like that a bit. Or if you're somebody that's stronger, that does you're very athletic, you're probably not going to like that. That's the reason why you need to go get fit, so that you can get the proper shaft, the proper grip, the proper head, the proper weight, the lie, the loft, all that other stuff, so that it feels good for you, so you make good, constant, quality contact with the ball. So there you go. So if you got any questions, put it in the show notes below. Hopefully we taught you a little something on weight in the head. And let's see your scores. Go low.